Welcome to Film Riot. Before we jump into questions, two reminders. One, the 1 minute short film competition is still going on. If you have not joined up, definitely check the links below. We have tons of really great prizes for this. It's 1 minute short film that you have to make, deliver to us. We got great judges involved as well. So definitely jump on board with that. And also our Black Friday sales are coming this Friday, November 23rd. We have 75% off of everything on our store, except for brand new products that we have coming out. But those are still going to be 50% off. So brand new products, 50% off right out of the gate. So definitely check out all the information on that below as well, including a promo for one of the new packs we have coming out. But with that out of the way, let's jump into our first question. What is your take on movie remakes? Think there are some that should never be touched? I don't think there's any that shouldn't be touched, and they're also not my property to be able to say one way or the other. They're owned by a company that can do whatever they want with them. And no matter what they do with it and whatever remake they make, it's not going to alter the original that I love in any way. So it doesn't really matter to me. If I want to see it, I'll go see it. If I don't, I don't. And I also look at it as, you know, it's for a whole new generation of film goers. Like you have the original Blade Runner that I was too young to see in theaters. And then you have the new Blade Runner that I was not too young to see in theaters. So I was able to experience a new version of that sort of story on the big screen. Or you have, you know, Jurassic Park and the new iterations that they have for, you know, out today, which are really for kids. I enjoy them, but, you know, the point is, I don't care. Hopefully they're good, but either way, it doesn't do anything to the original that I love. If you are on a run and gun outside shoot where you are operating camera and could take only one crew member besides sound boom op, who would you take and why? I would take an everything person, somebody who's just there to assist in every single way, whether it's holding the monitor or running and getting something that we need, just somebody that could just swing between everything needed, whether they need to hold a bounce board or they just need to go grab waters for everybody. I think that person would be the second most valuable if it was such a tiny shoot. As a no-budget filmmaker, how do I get music, free preferably, without having to compose it? I have no musical talent. There's a lot of ways that you can get music for your film. There's very few ways that you can get quality music for your film for free. There is some stuff out there, but there's stuff like MusicBed, if you're just doing on YouTube, that's a very low monthly cost that you can get music from and pretty much compose your entire film that way. You have our music packs on our store that are built out to have the separate stems so you can adjust and customize it to sound totally different and fit whatever you need, and those are pretty low cost in comparison. And then you have actual composers. You can go search through things like SoundCloud and look for composers that are at a similar level career-wise, and then send them a message, send them a cut of your film, and see if they're down to jump on and collaborate with you. There's always that option as well. I am not academically talented, and it feels like school is suffocating me because I can't create movies anymore. Did you struggle with this when you were in school? How would you fight it? P.S. I'm in 10th grade and I'm mostly homeschooled. I definitely had some difficulties in school because I was an extremely hyperactive child, so sitting still or focusing, having any form of attention span at all outside of film and music was really difficult for me. And if I could get a time machine and go back in time, I would slap myself in the face and tell me to suck it up and get more self-disciplined and really focus in on my education, because those things that you're soaking up right now and that you have the time to dedicate yourself to soak up now are going to help you throughout the rest of your life. The more well-rounded knowledge you have, the better filmmaker you're going to be. Every new thing that I learn, every new book that I read, every piece of knowledge that I have forms the stories that I'm able to tell and helps come up with the solutions I'm able to come up with. But also, as a filmmaker, you really have your own company. You're kind of freelance all the time. It's almost like you are your own company. I currently actually run a company, but even if I didn't, as a filmmaker, you're kind of your own company. And so the better education that you have, the better off that you're going to be. I would say dive in further, get yourself disciplined, really focus in on your education and take it even further. Go and start getting books and learning everything you possibly can. Read like crazy while you have the time. Once you get out of school and you get a full-time job, or even into college and having to do college and a full-time job, whatever it is that you do, time shrinks like crazy, and then you end up getting married. The amount of free time you have to just spend a ton of time educating yourselves dwindles down. So right now you have all the time in the world. So get disciplined, really dive in and soak up every amount of information you possibly can, and just find time for filmmaking where you can. Play less video games, go see less movies on the weekends. Do it then, write whenever you have a chance. I mean, even now, because of all the stuff that I have to find time for the extra stories I want to tell. So often when I go to bed, I'll spend an hour to 2 hours in bed writing before I fall asleep. So there's ways that you can find the time, but don't discount your education. Don't put that on the back burner. Put that on the front burner for now. And then once you graduate, then alter. Last question, has the grind ever gotten to you and made you think about pursuing other things? I really want to write and direct my own films, but the constant grind for funding the stories I want to tell is really frustrating and stressful. It definitely has gotten to me at times. It never made me want to do something else. I mean, the idea of doing something else is just too depressing for me. I can't do anything else. I have to do this or I start getting depressed. And that doesn't invalidate how you feel or it doesn't say that how you feel is abnormal. Not at all. We all are going to feel different things. We all are on different paths. I just think you need to take a step back, because when I am feeling like that, I do just need to take a step back and recharge the batteries, take some time away from it or off from it and focus on something else for a minute, be it a few days or a week or whatever it is. If you have a full-time job and you're doing this as a hobby, maybe take up to a month off and really recharge those batteries and then come back to it. So if you're feeling like that, just give yourself some time. Maybe you just need to rest for a bit and then come back to it. There's nothing wrong with that. Domain.com is all your website needs, including .com and .net domain names, an intuitive website builder so you can start creating a website to give to the world like a delicious gift of turkey, which is coming soon. They're affordable, reliable, and have all the tools that you need to start sharing your ideas with the world on a professional website. No domain extension is going to help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name. And if you want to brand yourself online, Domain.com has over 300 domain name extensions to fit your needs from .club to .space. And as always, they're giving you 15% off their already affordable prices when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRiot at Domain.com's checkout. And when you think domain names, think Domain.com.
Logo.
So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. And this one is kind of a weird one. They're financial apps. And I'm not sponsored by them, but they are apps that I use and for the specific purpose of putting money aside to save for gear or for projects I want to do. And that is an app called Betterment and one called Acorns. Acorns is really cool because you can turn on something called Roundup. So if you buy like a coffee for $1.25, it's going to round up to $2. It's going to take that 75 cents and put it into your Acorns account. And so over time, you end up saving all this money that you didn't even know you were doing. You can also, with both of them, set up automatic withdrawals. So you could tell it to once a month to save $5, 10, 15, 50, 100, whatever, a month from your paycheck and just put it in there. And then it's money that's out of sight, out of mind, and just builds over time. So if you do that at the end of the year, you can have well over $1,000 if you're doing $100 a month to put toward gear or a project. Even if it's a couple of $100, that's a couple of $100 you didn't have before to help start building your gear and do the projects that you want to do. Again, I have zero affiliation with these companies. They're just apps that I use constantly and really love. I've used them for, I've used Acorns for about 2 years, I think now, and I've used Betterment for about 6 months, and I really love both of them. So check them out. I think it's a really great way to save money to build on your career. But that's it for today. Again, don't forget about Black Friday coming this Friday, November 23rd. All kinds of goodies for very, very cheap. Until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.